Before I moved to US, I've been working for the current president and the person who is behind of him, like the second wealthiest person in Ukraine. I was running businesses and real estate, shopping malls, restaurants, hotels, and sport clubs. That background made me feel like I can keep doing this in the new markets, and here you need to start everything from the scratch, and you need to start over. I didn't have my father. He passed away when I was 2 years old, and I always felt this feeling of lack of love.
You felt like maybe you're not good enough, so you had to really be a high performer to stand out.
You're always on the stage, always surrounded by people who admire.
You're a CEO of this company now with partners.
I would say as of today, I'm happy that I was able to go through a lot of difficulties and challenges, but I was able to stay myself, stay grounded. So I don't believe in this concept. You don't need to suffer and struggle. You can be smart and you can find a way how to get there in a different way. People at 40 years old, 50 years old, ending up asking themselves, who am I and why I'm here?
Irina, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on the show. Super excited for our conversation. Why don't you give listeners a quick intro of who you are and what you're up to in the world?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. Such an exciting conversation we're going to have with you. We agreed that we're going to have fun, right?
That's right. Exactly. And
first of all, selfishly enjoy it.
That's right.
So by my accent, you can understand that I'm Eastern European, Ukrainian. I've been in US for 10 years back and forth, and 5 years ago I came here just for vacation and decided to stay. I made it work. It's been 5 exciting years of my journey in living American dream.
Yeah, that's right.
And so far I enjoy it.
And now you're doing?
Yeah, we're opening 2 paddle and wellness facilities in West Palm Beach, paddle is the fastest growing sport in the world.
That's right.
Usually people ask me, is it pickleball? And I say, no, it's different. It's a good mix of tennis and squash. So we have 4 people on the court. It's always doubles. And you have a glass wall, so you can hit off the wall. That's the difference.
Yeah, and it's what you've showed me. It's like super impressive, large facilities that your guys are building.
Yeah, it's 65,000 square foot and 45,000 square foot.
How many courts is that?
12 and 10.
So in one facility is 12 courts? Yeah.
Yeah, and in one facility we have paddle and wellness, which is gym, sauna, plunge pools, which is so popular as of now, and steam room, and wellness services like IV, physical therapy, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Restaurant, healthy food, liquor license, so all created for the person to enjoy sport and wellness, just hang out with friends or even do business. So we have like co-working areas where you can have a game, then go have your meeting, then come back, have some lunch, invite your family and spend time there. So I can see for myself, when we were working on the concept and the key thing that we wanted to create, it's kind of cruise experience, like you walk and forget about the time, and at the end of your experience you feel so fulfilled and you don't want to leave and you want to come back. Yeah, that's what it is.
Very cool.
It's a lifestyle.
I haven't yet actually. I'm aware of the game for a while now, but I haven't really yet experienced it. It's time, maybe.
Yeah, it's time. The things happen for a reason. You met me, and
that's right,
tendency, whoever talks about paddle to me, and I always talk about paddle. Next thing you see, it's you are playing on the court and having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's beautiful that you can invite your wife, it's, I would say, not that many options we have in racket sports when you can actually have fun with any gender, any age, kids, older people. It's, we always say that it's easy to start, but hard to master. But the only thing you need is just to know how to hold the racket, keep ball in play, and in 15 minutes you already have lots of fun, and it's amazing. Good cardio.
Very cool. Yeah. From what you've shared about some of your background, I was really impressed by your ability to achieve great things, and even, coming to the States about 5 years ago and staying here, you've already been able to, you're a CEO of this company now with partners. You're really like a go-getter. I would suspect that there are no goals that you've never, you haven't achieved, that you've set your mind, you always achieve those types of goals. What are the most proud maybe goals you've achieved in your life, would you say?
I would say as of today, I'm happy that I was able to go through a lot of difficulties and challenges, but I was able to stay myself, stay grounded, stay stick and honest to myself, and keep believing in all those beautiful things that I believe that need to happen in my life.
Yeah.
And I can see it when I'm surrounded by people, and like people always a mirror, good mirror for you, who you are. And that's what I see on a daily basis, especially right now when I just moved to West Palm Beach, and it's been like 2 weeks for me, a completely different world. You would think 2 hours drive from Miami or 1 hour without traffic, but it is a different world. People are so different, and they think differently. I mean, each person is different, but I could see overall the dynamic. It's a slower path, but people that I meet, starting like I've been introduced to the mayor of the city, and he opened so many doors for me, and I see how many opportunities are coming. And I also understand that this is a result of something that I've been doing, and it feels like I've been doing it right. So I can tell and I can feel this way, no matter what are you meeting on a daily basis and how many challenges you need to overcome. I am able to stay grounded, as I said, and I feel that I can say that I'm a happy person, and this is amazing. It feels so good.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Could you share a little bit more about what have you done in Ukraine before you moved? Because you mentioned at 14 you started 16. Yeah, so give me a little of that story.
Yeah, I have a good story about how I started working. I have my sister; she's 18, and she's not working. And I'm not telling her to be like me. Like my mom always look at Irina. We always have this tendency in families. She is different, but. When people ask me, I'm always telling this story that I wanted to dance salsa, merengue, bachata back to Ukraine so bad. I had this studio close to my university, which is close to the city center. I'm from Kiev, from the capital of Ukraine. And it was this Venezuelan guy, Amador, who was teaching bachata, and his classes were too expensive at that point. It was $100, and that was my reasoning. I was like, okay, I'm going to make this $100 because I knew that my mom wasn't able to afford this. And I was like,
per class, $100 per class? No.
It was a monthly payment. Okay, but again, if we go back 20 years ago, $100 in Ukraine, it was like, so much money. So I decided that I'm going to make this money, and I didn't know what to do at that point. I didn't have any experience, but I already started studying as a journalist, to be a journalist. And it was my first year at the university. And, in US, we have a different, I would say, they're talking about grades, right? In in Eastern Europe, it works a bit different. So at 16, that was my first year at the university. And I was like, okay, how can I make this $100? And the only thing I knew is how to be a journalist. More or less, I started understanding this. I knew how to record. I was always very creative. I loved meeting new people. And close to the university, on the another one side from the dancing studio, it was the radio station. And they had 3 different radio stations. It's like news radio station. I came there and I was like, guys, literally, I need to make $100. Let me know, how can I help you? Okay. What can I do for you? And that was my first experience in journalism. I started recording interviews, just going to streets and asking people about politics. It was politician field that I've been working in, and that was my start. Was my beginning of my journey working in a politician field. And before I moved to US, I've been working for the current president and person who is behind of him, like the second wealthiest person in Ukraine. And I was running businesses and real estate, shopping malls, restaurants, hotels, and sport clubs as well. So that background made me feel like I can keep doing this in the new market. Yeah. And I started playing paddle in pandemic. It was a great networking tool for me, and I started seeing so many interesting people around. And then I just realized, I can take my experience and make my background in sales and business development and marketing, so many things I've been doing, and I love the sport, and I'm having so much fun on the court with these people. So why would I find opportunities to open my own business? That's what I sent to the universe as a request. I needed to be specific because I didn't expect it's going to be 2 clubs at the same time. So huge. I mean, I'm so happy, as I said, but it's challenging. It's been 1 year in construction, and we're getting closer to the opening, September 19, and you are invited with your wife.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
There is no way for you to.
Yes, yeah. Well, we're about to give birth to a baby, so that will take us. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
will be fast and quick to start enjoying the
Are you kind of like allowed or are you willing to talk more about what you did in politics? And I just want to kind of understand what your involvement was.
Yes, my experience, like from the age of 16, I've been interviewing people in politics, and I've been interviewing 3 previous presidents. So I was already been close to them. I understood personalities. I understood that that field has a lot of power, but also it had a lot of rules which were not aligned with my vision. I always kind of having my own opinion, and I want to be stick to right things that I think are right, and I want to do right things. So that was the moment for me when I decided to switch to marketing and sales and advertisement. And I understood that skills that I learned being a journalist are helping a lot, like being able to, communications first thing. And then I started learning marketing. I got my MBA in marketing, and I understood that advertising myself and advertisement as a business for different businesses is something that I can actually help people with. And and then I found opportunity working for the current president. He was an actor at that point when we started working.
What year was that?
I've been involved in, let me try to
date myself.
Count, right. Yeah. So I've been almost 6, it's going to be 5 years ago. So I would say 8 years ago, which is 2000.
Yeah.
We are 25.
2000. Yeah.
17, something like that. So he used to be an actor, and I've been running different events. And that was the moment when he became a president. I feel like for our whole country, it was like, really? He is becoming a president.
Right.
Yeah. And now it's a huge honor. And I know that in the United States, he's a very well-known and respected person, which also gives a lot of feeling of being proud of those things that I've been involved in.
Well, now with Trump, I don't know, it's like mixed feelings, right? Like, Trump is always very predictable.
Zelensky also changed a lot. He, of course, so much pressure on the daily basis. Yeah.
And in maybe the last question around politics, you said you felt like there are certain rules, very rigid rules that you had to follow, and you didn't really feel like following them, so you left that world. What kind of like restrictions did you feel?
Even kind of on a basic level, as I am a creative young journalist, I'm going to my interview and I get creative. I create the whole path, how I would like it to look like. I come back excited with some information, and I would like to put it this way, but I needed to talk to people who actually can approve it, and they would tweak it in a way that it doesn't sound like a reality. And I always had much more to say. So it was like internal fight. Like it was like something like, come on, guys, it's not actually what I working on. I'm not saying that they were saying something wrong, but it just was different from the way I've seen it. And I wanted to be stick to it and be proud of what I'm creating. Like this is my result of my work. So it just didn't work the way I wanted.
And do you think that happens in most government, if not all governments? Like, I would suspect like each government has their own agenda, they're supporting their own interests, whatever, and they're trying to get all of the messaging aligned with their branding in a way, right?
I would assume that as in any business, you always have a strategy, right? Same in politics, you have a strategy and you need to be stick to the strategy, and you have outcome that you would expect. So in order to get there, you need to be stick to the idea and say right things and be where you want to be. That's why on the way there, I feel like a lot of things could be changed.
Right. And what do you think of, so history is basically written by those who are heads of communicating what actually happened. How much of the history do you think was actually true, and how much of it was like made up,
I like to talk about 2 key powers in the world is religion and army, right? That's what kind of setting up rules and able to manage people's minds and people act towards whatever they've been said. Religion, we could talk about this as well. That's the reason why I appreciate and I respect people who go to the church. I don't go because I also believe that this is institute that was created by people for specific reasons. And I don't feel like I do not associate myself with anything that is not aligned with the way I feel, right? What was your question?
Yeah. It was around history.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what is the percentage of the truth there still left.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's the history that we know is very inaccurate. I don't think it's too close to what actually happened. They say, winners write history, like whoever, let's say, won wars or this or that, who were in control of what gets put into books and,
Right. When I'm having conversation with my family, my mom and sister are in Poland right now, and my stepfather in the front line of the war. And when we are talking about the history, we are creating history right now on a daily basis, right? When I talk to my stepfather, I understand that in 10 years from now, I'm going to talk to my kids and telling them story about my stepfather who was in the war, and he was telling me all these terrible stories. But we also talk about things that are in our control. And that's where I always kind of bring my mom to reality and calm her down. It's a lot of anxiety, you can imagine. And being like, Mom, let's be focused on today. You are safe. What can we do today in order to we are creating our history now, right? We can be about things that are in our control and what makes you happy, right? How can I make you happy, or what can you do to live today happy? And of course I care. I want her to feel happy as well. And usually people ask me about my family moving to United States and living in United States for 5 years. And I know how much it takes to make it work, especially when you come here without any intentions to stay. And then you understand that, okay, I'm staying. Now I need to figure things out. I need to make them work. And I know that it's definitely not for everyone. For example, like my mom has a different mindset, and she doesn't speak language, right? She has her friends there. That's what makes her happy. I know that in order to move here and make it work, you need to want to make it work. And we talked about this consistency and what you need to do on a daily basis. You can talk, and I'm sure you have a lot of people around who are still trying to get there. We all came with our background and we achieved something in our countries and we feel proud of this. And here you need to start everything from the scratch and you need to start over. And I was laughing, telling that when I came here, I was like, okay, I have so much experience. I'm sure I will, like, in a couple of months, I will see myself at the same level or even higher. America is a country of opportunities. So, and I'm a hardworking person, like I'll make it work. It took a while. And staying consistent and
I don't know about a while per se, like what you've been able to achieve in the last just a handful of years. A lot of people who grew up here, their whole life growing. I think your rate of progress is really high.
Yeah, one of the things that I know about myself, I stay hungry. That's what I'm usually telling.
What keeps you hungry? Why you stay hungry?
I would say being hungry, it's also being excited for me. So when I wake up in the morning and I know that I'm going to the construction site to see what happened, or what kind of progress we made, I feel excited because I know that we are making progress and we are going to get to that reality that we are all living in our minds for a year while we've been in construction, we are so excited about. And I personally am. I'm like, I've been driving today from West Palm to Miami for 2 hours. And in my mind, I had this picture about the opening event and how happy we're going to be, how I'm going to hug my partners. And I had tears in my eyes. I've been driving and crying. And I'm like, Irina, what are you doing? Like, how emotional person you are. So that is something that is waking me up. And the feeling that I experience is beautiful. I know that I need to work hard. I need to run a lot of things. And sometimes I'm nervous. Sometimes I'm not certain. Sometimes you feel like, it's not exactly the way I want it to be. But then I remind myself, big goal, right? Why we are all here. And I remind myself how it makes me feel in general, right? That feeling is what kind of making me keep going, but at the same time feeling hungry because I also know that we can do more. And yeah, I feel like with my degrees and with my languages that I speak, it felt like not enough, but in a good way. I always knew that I can do more. Like if I live in Miami, I need to speak Spanish, like so many people speak just Spanish.
Right.
And it was so exciting to me. So I found two Spanish speaking and natives, one from Spain, another from Portugal. And I have online classes every week and I can see the progress as well. Like maybe you don't feel it 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, but if you keep consistency no matter what, you're hungry, or you want to eat and skip this, you want to have lunch and skip this lesson, or you are tired, or you have an important meeting. You always have this reason, right? But I'm like, nope, where is my Christian? Let's go. Or where is my Mario? Let's go. Yeah.
Since you were young, you had this drive to improve, to achieve goals and things, or has that came in later?
Yeah, I grew up with only mom. I didn't have my father. He passed away when I was 2 years old. And psychologically, I understand that was predisposition. I always seen my mom hardworking. I would say I never seen her around. She was always working. Yeah. And her parents, my grandmom and grandfather, were taking care of me. And I always felt this feeling of lack of love and attention. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know if you remember in... I'm 88, 90s, 95, I guess, we had this Barbies coming into our countries, and that was such a cool thing. Mm-hmm. And we had currency coupon, and the cost of that Barbie was 1 million coupons. I remember that 1 million, and it sounded for me so much money. And I was asking my mom to have this Barbie. And I always been smart in a way. Like I was like, my mom, I understand we don't have money, but if you have this opportunity, if you have this chance, if you can just get me this Barbie, obviously my mom was making money to get this Barbie for her child, Mm-hmm. She was giving me everything I was asking her, but I was conscious that we don't have money. Yeah. And, I also was watching other families and my friends with them, and I've seen like full families, completed families, mothers and fathers, and I've seen their interaction, and I wanted to be like that. That's why now when I'm choosing my future husband and I'm thinking about my future family, I have these flashbacks, like how do I want and how I don't want. So I definitely know how I want. They're asking me, where are you looking for husband? That is not easy to find. I have that picture in my mind, so I will recognize.
Can you describe? What does that look like? Like just like
Yeah, I would say that I want this person to be emotionally open. And this is one of key things. Language matters and make a difference. That's why I speak so many languages. I'm expanding my opportunities.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I definitely see this person be curious to life and being driven the same way as I am. Mm-hmm. To have fun together, like so many cool things we can do, and I want to share. Yeah. It's like, I know that I'm feeling good when I'm alone and I'm by myself, but I want to share what I have with another person. The same feeling I have toward kids. I want to have kids not because I have to, or it's part of culture that we've been taught, because I want to share. I have something to share. And I feel like at the age of 38, I got to this point when I learned a lot and I have a lot to say. That's why I love kids. When I see kids and I see my friends and parents around them, they always like, Irina, you talk to them as to adults. I'm like, yeah, and they are also curious, I'm actually curious, who is this person? What is behind this personality? Mm-hmm. So it's also interesting aspect, like communicating with kids. And I have psychological degree. I think it helps me also a lot to understand and be like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up with a dad, you felt like maybe you're not good enough. So you had to counter balance that. You had to really be a high performer to stand out in other areas.
Yeah, always the winner, always on the stage, always surrounded by people who admire, like that. Yeah. That feeling was very, very important to me first. Yeah.
Do you think there's a way to, because it served you in a way, say this situation where you felt like you're not enough and you had to prove yourself, that really propelled you to excellence, right?
Yeah. Made me who I am.
But do you think it's possible to infuse that in the development of a child who does have both kids or both parents?
Yeah.
How would you go about like giving that drive to a kid?
Definitely, yes. And I'm telling this based on education and degree that I have. And I was very curious to this part. And I was and even now watching my sister growing up, I was curious how to, not to make her, but how to create that environment when she would feel, again, curious to life, but when she would feel excitement about trying things. So I feel like this is the concept of being empty somehow, like not fulfilled 100%. What happens between parents and their kids? Kid is asking about something, and good parent, there is the concept to be good enough, right?
Okay.
Mom, I'm good enough, right? To give whatever my child is asking me. But it's interesting, but not giving 100%, you create that feeling of I want to get this. I want to figure out how can I get this. I want to learn why. There is the concept when mom is interested in something else, but not just in her child. Child always feels it, right? From the birth. Child is feeling himself as a center of the universe.
Right.
When I'm crying, my mom is coming. If I want to eat, my mom is feeding me. If I need to do, some natural stuff, my mom is taking care of me. But if I'm hungry and I'm crying and my mom is not coming, this is the moment when it creates this feeling like, okay, I need to get this somehow. Now I need to start crying louder, right?
Yeah.
I need to find a way how to bring my mom's attention. Same happens in relationship when a mother is, more interested in the moment in her husband instead of in her child. Child is feeling that he has competition, and you will see it. I know, like your future daughter or son would be coming to you, sitting on your laps and be like, I love you. Do you love me?
Right.
Like you love me more than mom? They have this thing, manipulative thing, but in a good way.
Sure.
So that's what creates, when you create that feeling of not having enough, that's what drives human being to be curious and get more.
So you're saying maybe by consciously engineering those kind of circumstances for kids, but try to be as kind of respectful and soft still, because you don't want to create trauma either, right?
No, it could be needs to be a good balance and understanding what you should. We have this concept of kids of wealthy parents that always have everything and they don't feel need of making money, for example, right? And then parents complain that he is, 25, 30 years old and he doesn't want to work and he still lives with the family, and they push him, go and find job.
Right.
And person is like, but why do I need to if I have everything? You give me money. So yeah, even on that level.
Would you say, now that you've lived in the States and met a lot of people who grew up here and from other countries, would you say certain cultures, like maybe our own or other cultures, are more self-sustaining, they're more self-reliant than others?
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, so like in the situation where there's a lot of uncertainty and someone might be a lot better equipped to make their own judgment calls, decisions, adapt to survive, like a survival instinct type.
As a nationality, you're asking me to define?
Yeah, because the reason why I'm asking is I think our nation, just because we went through, not maybe personally, but also like our parents, grandparents went through a lot more struggle. And so that made them more resilient, stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I always like to bring up the story of hero. So in order to get something, you need to go through struggles and suffers. And then you get to the point when you can actually enjoy your life. So I don't believe in this concept. I think you don't need to suffer and struggle. You can be smart and you can find a way how to get there in a different way. We always have this Instagram memes when you can see that you can go a little bit left, right? And you can see different opportunities there and the way to get it done. I agree with with the statement that Eastern European cultures, or like countries, we used to feel lack of something and being like, okay, in order to get something, I need to work hard and I need to be the best. I need to show, and I need to stand out.
We're hungry, right?
We are hungry.
Yeah.
But also I feel like in our case, we are willing to suffer in order to get there. And that's why people usually take advantage of that. They're like, well, if you want to get paid less, then why do I need to pay more? No,
right.
You want to show me that you are better than anyone. I mean, I can see it. I can see it a lot also here when the immigrants are coming and they understand that they cannot get paid the same way as they used to. They are willing to be like, okay, I will do that, but I don't actually like it. And I think it all depends on specific situation, but I would suggest to find a way how to stay yourself and stick to your nature and who you are and find a different opportunity. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah. I think you're speaking to the notion of self-worth. And I feel like in our Slavic cultures, we have an issue with that. Like we have a low self-worth somehow. Why do you think that is?
I feel it also comes from the family. Like my grandmother was always telling me, Irina, you need to be appreciative for what you have. Don't try to push. Don't try to come across negative or pushy or aggressive because you can lose the opportunity. So then you decide to be okay with whatever you have, right?
Yeah.
And that was something that I was always against. And I had to fight with my grandmother and I was like, no, I'm going to get what I need and what I want. Yeah.
Do you think it has anything to do with like a communistic type of society where regular people didn't really matter much? They were kind of like not important. And that's where this self-worthiness kind of got corrupted.
Yeah, people were considered more as a function. So what can you do in order to get where I want to be, right? That's why, unfortunately, that has to be a part of education at schools, to explain, how system works, what you need to know about this in order to.
Yeah. And so for you, you found self-worth in your performance, like being a student and.
Yeah, I would say that for me, definition of self-worth was actual money, that I started making good money being very young, and I was able to help my family, and I started traveling, and I had multiple jobs at the same time, and I felt like I can do more. And then it became like, okay, what else I can do in order to make more? What else I can do? And then looking for that balance, making enough, right? And doing something that you actually like.
Yeah. Motivation and discipline, which both of those qualities you have, how would one develop those? Any advice that you would have if somebody finds themselves in situations that, I'm like motivation is low. I don't know how to pick myself back up, or, discipline. I've never really had it. Like, how do you go from there?
Yeah, it made me think in the usual request when people coming to the therapist, they say, I have everything in my life. I have a great job, great compensation, beautiful wife, kids, but I'm unhappy. And then why, right? It kind of aligned with the same thing. I would ask this person what actually makes you happy, right? What wakes you up in the morning? What makes you happy? And then you start defining how the person sees himself and where the person wants to be, and if his lifestyle is actually if is exactly those steps in order to get there. I have a good example from the one of famous fitness coaches. I cannot remember his name right now. He was giving this example, and person is coming and telling him, listen, I want to start working out, and a person has a picture, and I want to look like this in 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they start the conversation, and he starts asking about the lifestyle, like, let me get to know you better. So what do you do in your life? You have your job, you have your family, you have some of your workouts, and I don't know, you have some time for your self-development, right? So if you would take 100% and you would share with me percentage of each part of your life, how does it look like? And then the person starts thinking like, okay, so I would say job, work is the key thing in my life, right? I'm making money. I need to afford everything that I have. Let's say it's 70% of my time I spent working. Then I have 30% left. Wife and kids, well, I work 5 days a week. I come back home. Let's say 20% of my time left for my family. So we are at 80% right now.
Yeah.
So you have 20% left. So you have some stuff that you do for your self-development, let's say 10, and you have 10% left for your workouts.
Yeah.
It's easy math. If you want to get there in 6 months, now you need to take and increase this 10% to specific number. And we can think about this, which means you need to reduce time working or spending time with your family. And now it's a conversation about what are you actually willing to do, right? Is it that important? Because if you tell me you can start freelancing and you can have lots of free time during the day and you can put them into workout and then you can see result. And this is very easy conversion. You can actually see it in 6 months from now. So let's just be honest. Let's don't try to lie to yourself, first of all. If you spend 10%, you can expect 10% of that result that you set up for yourself in 6 months. And I think it works. It makes people think it's so easy, right?
Yeah.
But it's exactly what you do daily, hourly. If you want to. That's why I have schedules for everything. That's why I have my Spanish classes Monday and Friday at noon, no matter what.
Yeah, you live by the calendar. Everything is on your calendar, would you say, at every activity? Yeah. Yeah, I'm becoming more of a friend with the calendar. I used to not really use the calendar. I would just like kind of refuse. Even though I worked in corporate, very much like structured, planned, I would still like just trying to somehow avoid using the calendar. I guess it's also part of the habit. You have a tattoo. Can you show that to us here? So tell me more about that.
It's a symbol of power.
Right.
Right. I'm sure you heard about Reiki.
Yes.
It's energy practices. I believe in it. I don't do this. I don't have any levels of Reiki, but...
Has anyone done Reiki on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like to explain it in an easier way for those who don't know what it is, let's say if you have a headache, I can hold my hand next to your head. You would feel some energy, some sensation, some warm feeling, and at some point you would suddenly realize that you don't have headache anymore, right? That's magic of Reiki.
So what event, have you had that made you decide to even have a permanent tattoo of power?
Yeah, it's again going back to the environment where I used to work with politician people, with strong people, mostly men. And I always wanted to be valued for who I am, for how smart I am, and what I can actually do for their business. Instead of that I'm a woman, I'm blonde. I wasn't blonde at that point. I intentionally had short hair, and I had like my hair color is dark, and I had that strong look, and that was kind of self-expression. That it's about strong personality versus bubbly girl, they can take who I am professionally instead of thinking that you want to invite me for dinner.
Right, exactly. Do you think, do you remember situations where that actually helped you? Like having the tattoo and having that type
I think even this conversation, people usually ask me, what does it mean? And I tell the story and I self-express myself, right? I'm saying what is important for me. We are about business. So be stick to the idea.
Right. Do you have any other tattoos?
Yes, it's on my back.
What else do you have?
It doesn't mean anything. It's also similar style. It's just a nice sign. Yeah, I used to do CrossFit and compete, and it just looked very nice on videos during competitions.
Oh, okay.
We were like have at that point perfect body, like with abs and so on. So yeah. It's beautiful. It's just aesthetically nice.
You mentioned about life doesn't have to be difficult in order to like achieve big goals. In CrossFit,
and work doesn't have to be hard.
Right. It doesn't have to be hard. but CrossFit, wouldn't you say that you really had to push yourself? Oftentimes it was maybe painful or at least discomforting to like really push yourself to the limit.
Yeah, I like to compete and I like to win. So CrossFit was that hobby, and it never been something professional for me. It's always been something that I've been doing with the group of people that I enjoyed spending time with, my boyfriend at that time. And I liked the way I looked. I liked the way I felt. It was hard. Yeah. I like, in CrossFit, usually people injure themselves at some point anyway. In my case, it's knees and shoulders, and I couldn't compete anymore. And I just started with like regular fitness workout at the gym. And this is my lifestyle. I'm trying to go to the gym every day. So yes, it's painful, but then you see results. And if you win, that's the feeling of satisfaction, like that's what was driving me at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a like maybe reinterpretation of an actual what's actually kind of happening. Let's say life might be challenging at times, but having a particular attitude doesn't make you feel that, maybe.
Right. It all depends on what you want. And I like short-term goal when you can see results right away, right? That's why I just kind of playing with myself this way every day. I have my plan and I'm like, okay, 3 things that I'm trying to achieve today. So by the end of the day, I feel accomplished. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the same thing.
There's this whole notion in Western, at least culture, grinding, that people grind to success, that they have to really like push through and basically grind. And I think there's an underlying assumption there that the medium through which you navigate life is dense, that it's almost like a rock that you have to grind through. But I would argue that doesn't always have, maybe ever have to be the case. Maybe instead of grinding through the rock, you can either flow through the rock or throw through the cracks potentially. Or become a rock. Yeah. I just don't think that so if you're here and you want to be over there and there's some kind of barrier, some kind of rock, you have to like head on, go grind it. You know what I mean? It's not all, I mean, maybe at times that is the only way. I don't know.
Not always. Definitely not always. And I have lots of examples. Not always. I mean, examples that I can tell you from the current business. I learned enough to know how to make this business successful and how to start meeting new people that would be actually benefiting our business from business perspective. And then they suddenly become our customers as well. So, definitely you need to become part of community and surround yourself by right people who would look the same way as you are. And again, I believe in teamwork. I know that I'm functioning very well by myself, but I can achieve much more with my team, with the right team, right? It takes a lot to build this team, and I'm lucky with my team as of today. We are having lots of fun going through all those challenges. But definitely missed the point that I want to say. I started thinking about my team and celebration and got distracted.
Yeah. I forgot the thread. I was going to ask you also about being a woman in the business setting, being like a leader. You oftentimes are in your masculine energy. You have to be, right?
Most of the time.
Right. How has that been for you? Have you found challenge in kind of bringing yourself back to the feminine at times?
Yeah, I've been intentionally working on this, especially being in a relationship. I do want to come back home and become a woman, not a boss, not feeling that I'm in the army and I need to continue figuring things out. Just relax. And it takes a man that understands this and also let you be yourself, right? And I know that this feminine side of me exists. Sometimes I see it. Sometimes I'm like, here, I feel so good. I want to maintain this feeling as long as I can. I just experienced this. Finally, I had a chance to go into my vacation. It was a solo trip to Hawaii. And it was a beautiful time.
Which island?
Honolulu. Just a kind of basic touristic way, but it meant a lot to be by myself. Like I obviously planned everything and I had schedule for every day, but I also found a lot of cool things that I didn't expect. And I met people that I consider them my teachers, two spiritual women that one does breath work and another one sound healing. And it's been 7 days of a beautiful journey. And again, things happened for a reason. They were super surprised and they were like, Irina, how did you find us? And I was just Googling, calling people, asking. So
what were you searching for?
I started doing Cup Kundalini. It's not yoga. It's, I'll explain what it is just quickly for those who don't know. So you don't need to do anything. You just lay on the floor and loud music is playing and you start feeling some sensations in your body. Some people moving, some people dancing. I'm super logic person. And one of my degrees, I'm psychoanalyst by Freud, which is very classy way. Everything is super logical. If I don't see it, if I don't feel it, it doesn't exist. But I started experiencing something that it was very hard for me to explain. I didn't take anything. I didn't drink anything. Like I know that everything was under my control the way I like. But I found this as a good relaxing practice for me. And as far I go, as deeper I go, and I can see some thoughts that are coming to my mind, something from the childhood, something that I'm living today that bothers me. And I found these connections. I found these dots, how to connect them. And I get more responses from inside, like what do I actually want? Who am I? And, again, people at 40 years old, 50 years old, ending up asking themselves, who am I and why I'm here? Right? So I feel it's a very important question.
Did you get some answers? Who are you?
I'm a human being, definitely.
Okay. All right.
I'm a woman.
Okay.
I have a lot of masculine energy, but I am a woman. And I feel like one of my mission in life is helping people. And I do this through business. And now I can see how I actually make people happy through the sport and environment that we create. So many facilities on the market, and you can hear background from people and their personal experience that they say you can have a paddle court. You can have 20 paddle courts, but you come into the facility and you feel that vibe, and you cannot fake it. And I'm so confident that I create that vibe to create that people that I want to be surrounded by. And it's always been like this. And that's why I feel so confident that we are building something super unique and people are going to be so happy, and that makes me happy. Like I know that I'm going to hang out with them at that club and it doesn't feel like work. Like we go play, we go enjoy life, socialize, and have a bunch of events that we're going to host. And I want to be around and I want to feel it, how happy they are. And they're all coming back to you. So with such a huge level of appreciation that you change their lives. And you're like, oh, that feels good.
Yeah. How do you in your life decide what to work on next? How do you prioritize, or how do you feel that what is the next thing for you?
Couple of things happen to me, or I feel bored and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Or I feel like people that I'm surrounded by, they don't serve the purpose that I have and I don't serve them anymore. So we have different visions. So that's the time. In relationship and business, same thing.
Yeah.
Or I feel excited about something like Kundalini practice, and I want to find time and become a Kundalini teacher. I love it. I want to know how they do it, and I want to share this with my friends at least. I don't consider this as a business, but I consider this as a fun thing to do, and it's a helpful thing to do. So I'm it's like in my bucket list part of travels. I want to do that. So yeah, or I get curious and excited about something and I try it, and I always try it to understand if it's something that I actually want to do, and then it becomes part of my life.
Yeah.
I know how
Yeah, especially in the world that we're living in where things change more rapidly than they ever have. Sometimes you can get overwhelmed with the number of options that you can, like number of directions that you can go to. What advice would you give to someone to choose the right one, or like choose the, yeah.
Yeah, I like this exercise. Easy, with one pen and one paper. Just write down what you like, what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? Usually we ask this at the interview, in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see some alignments, and you can find that core word or core activity or core business. It's always something there. It's in you, and it's something very you just need to go inside, right? And there are a bunch of ways how you can do this.
Mm-hmm. How do you see yourself in 10 years?
37 going to be in September, 47. I actually have this written.
Okay. Amazing. Easy then.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see it in details. I can see the place where I live. It's going to be the house with beautiful, like white interior, light environment. I'm going to have 2 kids, boy and girl. I'm going to have a husband, obviously.
These days you don't need a husband.
I'm going to have a paddle court in my house.
Okay.
I'm going to have a gym in my house. I'm going to have free time, and I have slow mornings. I have free time one of businesses that I want to work on is, I would put this way, self-development for women specifically. I want to help women who have similar purposes in their lives and some struggles, how to overcome them faster, easier, and how to not get distracted by that number of opportunities that you have, or the people that do not serve you, how to stick to yourself, to your nature, to what you want, and how I will always say, to become that best version of yourself. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting there, so I feel like I have something to share. So I would love to have that. Yeah, and I can see my day. I can see how I wake up, how I have my coffee in that light kitchen, how my husband hugs me, how we have nice morning chat about exciting days ahead, and our kids at school, and we have nanny and chef. That is important. I don't cook. I mean, I can, but
I understand.
I don't have time to enjoy it the way I want. I have even a book that I'm going to get at some point and start cooking something new. Yeah. But remember that I'm from CrossFit, and I consider food most of the time as a guess. Right? So you have your proteins, you have your carbs, and so boring, right? So I'm easy with that. Yeah. I go to same place, I say it's same food. I would love to have chef that could create something new and have this excitement coming to the kitchen and be like, oh, what do we have? Maybe it's going to be a mother of my husband. Usually in our Eastern European cultures, we have family support, right?
Right. Well, what would you say? So now that like humanoid robots are becoming somewhat of a thing, would you be open for a humanoid robot to cook for you?
Yeah, watching Black Mirror and what could happen. Remember that I like to control things. If I cannot trust that thing, I don't.
What if you can trust it? I don't know. Like maybe they can.
I need to try, and then I can tell you.
Well, how would you describe your relationship with AI?
It's daily relationship. I use it on a daily basis for business. Obviously, it's so helpful. And I tell my team, use it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Right. My Ukrainian, one of my team members from Ukraine, she's studying English. She just said recently at the meeting, don't reinvent a bicycle. And all our American team was like, and it's so sweet. I just love that. We say bicycle, right, in Russian. Yeah. So we do use it, and I keep using it more and more and more. And you just gave me a great advice. I'm going to follow it in order to record my notes during the day. Yeah. Yeah. But I realized that those things could work against us. I realized this, but we still use it.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's like fire, any other type of technology, you can cook your meal or you can burn someone. There's intention that goes into it, and intention matters a lot, right? It's not that it's inherently bad, but it's what you make out of it, right? Do you have a desirable vision of the future for yourself? Or, I mean, for yourself, you kind of mentioned a little bit about it, but for humans, for society, for the earth, if you ever think about that.
Yeah, it's an important question. I would like us to stay human, people, more than
cyborg.
Yeah. Because I believe that it's still, if we're talking about businesses and people being replaceable by robots, it's kind of sad, not just because I believe that people who lost their jobs in this specific field, again, we are creative. We can learn something new and we can start over. That's what I believe. So I don't worry that they can lose their jobs, but I worry that we can lose that something special that each of us has, right? That spontaneous, that you can feel, that soul, if you will, right? We all have that unique thing, and that's the part of life, to discover it and come back to yourself, to become you, right? And that is what is enjoyable in conversation with you as well. If Robert would be asking me things, I would I wouldn't be that emotional, and I wouldn't be that excited, like we feel.
Yeah, I think, yes, we feel, and knowing that it's a human perspective gives meaning, gives uniqueness, because if it's a robot, you know that you could just replicate that same robot, and there's no uniqueness of that particular perspective. And in fact, I'm very optimistic about AI and robotics and everything, because robots and the latest tech that we invent will chip away and basically take our jobs that actually weren't even meant for us. They were just like intermediary, transitional roles that humans had to play in order for us to keep moving forward.
Right.
Once a lot of those go away, I think humans will have more time to do more human things, things that involve other humans. So I see us shifting our value system more into the domain that cannot be easily replicated. Because if everything is on demand, like if AI can just create any kind of video, it can generate any kind of text for you, and anyone can do it, it's just ubiquitous, and it's kind of like air. You don't really appreciate the air unless you lose it. And so those things will become very low value, like or we won't really value those things as much. But what we would value or continue to value is deep human connection, experiences that bring you into higher states of awareness, deeper connection to the present moment, to nature, to ourselves. That's my desirable,
Yeah, it's very close to what I said, and I agree with you. Yeah, I like the idea, and I do it on a daily basis. Why do I use AI? Because I can get so many things done and do not pretend to be that smart person in the room, smartest one. I'm not using it. A lot of people criticize it, and I don't understand why. I mean, if you can use it, just use it.
Right.
Just get things done faster, and of course, read it. You know how many instances we have when people just send it and even though not reading, and you can see it.
Yeah.
At least read it.
Yeah, I think it's important to know how to do it without AI also. Just keep yourself functional, because what if does, the internet goes offline, you're just completely useless if you can't do it without machines or without robots. Yeah. In closing, is there anything that you haven't, maybe you have a message for people, or you have any, or maybe how can people find you, especially those who are single or something like that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't want definitely to make it. I'm looking for.
I understand, of course. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Any other message that you might have for, if any, in closing? Yeah.
Right. Stay healthy. Keep playing racket sports.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate this conversation. You made my Friday different. More human, more enjoyable trip for me was from West Palm to Miami, those 2 hours, and I'm going to have 2 more to think, to have that time to
journal,
connect with myself. And I was very curious what is going to happen tonight. And it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. Thank you again for coming all over here. And thank you, listeners, whoever is still around, sticking around all the way till the end. And I'll see you on the next one.